Hey, how y'all been? This is Chris. Chris's Comments, a show of common sense on common ground, no matter what the subject. And this subject has a little bit to do with guns. Okay, it's been a while. I understand that. I got a new job. I'm no longer rideshare driving. The toll has been taken, and I can't do it anymore. But I've been working a warehouse job, and I've been feeling myself get revitalized. My entire body, my muscles, my strength, it's all coming back doing this warehouse work. So no worries, no complaints. Now, now that I got you up to speed, uh, I'm doing um, I'm doing this article that came out a couple of days ago. Texas brewery receives flood of threats, harassment after Kyle Rittenhouse event. Okay, located in Conroe, Texas, Southern Star Brewing Company that produces Pine Belt Pale Ale. Um, they were hosting a rally against censorship, uh, but they canceled. Why? Because it turns out that this rally uh, turned out to be a little bit more uh, involving people of hate. And what I mean by that is, check this out. The rally against censorship was organized by Defiance Press. It's a Conroe based publisher that published Corona Fascism, for those that said that the government was using the coronavirus as a method of control, controlling the people. And Joe Aprio, whatever the hell, this jerk off, Joe the jerk off Aprio biography. He was the sheriff who was racially profiling people in Maricopa County, Arizona. He even ignored the orders when a judge told him to stop doing that, and he still went on doing it anyway. So that's the organization that wanted to hold the event, the rally against censorship event. Um, but the Southern Star Brewing Company canceled on them. They said no, absolutely not, and it got everybody outraged. And it wasn't just because of that, but it was because um, Kyle Rittenhouse was supposed to be a guest appearance on this show at this rally, and as we all know, that's not good. He, along with former Lieutenant Governor, Texas Governor Daniel Miller, who created Texit, a separatist organization that wants to separate Texas from the U.S. as well as white Texas uh, from everybody else. Wants everybody out of white Texas. So yeah, Daniel Miller, Kyle Rittenhouse, Southern Star Brewery Company closed its doors to the rally against the organization. In return, they received letters of harassment. They received death threats, all this stuff, um, along with HEB. HEB wound up canceling, who was a sponsored partnership. Now, for those of you who don't know, HEB is like Kroger up north in the northern states. Over to the southeastern states, you know them as Winn Dixie. Here in Texas, it's called HEB. It's for Henry E. Buttle, who was the creator of HEB and made this great thing Texas wide. Um, Publix, for those of you in the West. But yeah, they canceled also. HEB canceled also. They said no to this rally, especially with these hosts, especially created by Defiance Press, who is just this, good for nothing publishing company that, promotes hate and all this other stuff. Um, so yeah, this was a real big thing. Now, here's where common sense from common ground comes in. Guy Rittenhouse, you went to another state to pick a fight with somebody and kill someone in the name of self-defense. You know, you can't be surprised if you're not welcomed in Texas or anywhere else. um, Defiance Press, again, you published Joe Arpaio's biography of lies, saying that he never profiled anybody, when the facts of the matter is there's stacks and stacks and stacks of cases against that sheriff who did racially profile, stop and frisk, profile and pull over, whatever it is that you want to call it. He did it. He racially profiled and used his badge as the way to take advantage of that. Plain and simple. You He shouldn't be surprised either. That company shouldn't be surprised. Joe Arpaio shouldn't be surprised that if somebody finds out that a rally is going to be held by this organization, Defiance Press, then they're going to get canceled on. They shouldn't be surprised. It certainly doesn't call for a bunch of letters of harassment and death threats. They know what they did. They know what they did, and it shouldn't be a surprise for them. That as soon as it's found out who they are, they get canceled. Plain and simple. Former Lieutenant Governor Daniel Miller, creator of Texit, what is he complaining about? He should know better. He's out in Conroe. Conroe's got it's not like wild liberal. It's nowhere near San Francisco, but there are gay people that fund that invest in Southern Star Brewery. There's gays, there's mixed races, there's interracial people. Now these guys are not liberal per se, but at the same time, they're not biased towards anybody. So what in the world would they be doing, allowing somebody to hosting a rally against censorship, where the featured spokespeople are people of hate? It doesn't make any sense. All the way down to Kyle Rittenhouse, somebody who's probably never said the N-word, who's probably says, I don't have a racial bone in my body and all this other crap. He's never racially profiled, and he was never a cop, so he couldn't have done that and all this other stuff. No, but he did go with a combative styled weapon to kill somebody. Speaking of combative styled weapons, part 2 of this is Illinois combative weapons ban has been permitted as of the 14th of this month. It's January of 2023, January 16th. And 2 days ago, it was permitted. The weapons ban passed in Illinois. Combative weapons, in particularly, does that going to stop the gun violence? No, it is not, because handguns are usually are used often in many situations. That being said, combative weapons are used for terroristic methods. Okay, combative weapons are being used against people, and in this case, the reason for it is because of that shooting at Highland Park in Chicago on the 4th of July, where some douchebag dressed up as a woman to mingle in the crowd go to the backside of a building, climb the fire escape up to the roof, go up to the roof and shoot down at a parade and the people in a parade, then come back down dressed up as a woman to get into his car and take off, where he was pulled over by cops and he was still found wearing his nylons and heels, which kind of says something about that fool, that he just can't wait to go to prison and be treated like the lady that he feels. So but all joking aside, people, combative weapons are being used right now, and they're being used not to protect anyone. They're not being used to protect anyone. They're not being used to save anybody. They're being used to kill, and in this case, mass kill. So, you know, if for all the gun owners and gun supporters and all the Second Amendment rights, you know, if you guys, we all saw it coming. We all saw it coming. Maybe some latter time, they'll be put back onto into law, that they'll be permitted. But for right now, no, no. There's no need for it. There hasn't been a need for any kind of massive shooting, defense against massive shooting since 1997, when two guys robbed a Bank of America in California and was using combative styled weapons to kill a bunch of police. It's it's been that long, 27 years, 20, almost 27 years, 26 years now. It's been a long time since since law enforcement needed a combative style weapon. Here in Texas, okay, I take that back. Here in Texas, somebody used an AR-15 back in 2009, I think, or 11, to defend themselves from a guy shooting a shotgun at a church, But even still, it only took a couple of shots. And technically, an AR-15 wasn't really needed. You could have done that with a handgun. Could have done that with a 9mm Beretta, for crying out loud, or 45. Because all it took was just a couple of shots firing back at him to have the gunman with the shotgun run away. Okay, so this kind of thing, you guys, you really don't have much of a leg to stand on, And don't get me wrong, if I was to, make some money and all this good stuff, if I was to make money doing this podcast and everything, if I was to actually be taking it to a business level and trying to make some money, I'd probably want an AR-15 myself. I'd be buying a big piece of land, and I'd be having fun shooting guns and all this good stuff. But with legislation and all this good stuff, and besides, that's only in Illinois. Here in Texas, we could still buy them. So, there I am. So here in Texas, we could still buy them. But I personally would rather buy it through regulation. I'd like to take a psych exam. I'd like to take a background check. I'd like to pass all the requirements in order to get it as an ordinary American citizen, with an America's ancestral lineage, so I have no reason to tear up anybody on my land, my ancestral territory here in Texas, or anywhere in the United States for that matter. After all, the Americas is my ancient ancestors' lands. To turn around into something corrupt or terror, to be a terrorist, it would be a shame, But that's my viewpoint. Back to the subject, however, people, saw it coming. We all saw it coming, It's just a matter of time before it goes all across the United States, and weapons ban or regulation or whatever. Regulation is what I'm hoping for, not so much a weapons ban, but most definitely a weapons regulation. For somebody to be like Tim McVeigh, to be, because Tim McVeigh, who used a bomb, he technically could have freaked out and used the gun. He was young, he was impressionable, he was just this dumbass, and all the way down to Rittenhouse, who was young, impressionable, and so stupid that he literally believed he was doing the American patriotic thing, going to an entirely different city to a civil rights rally, and then picking a fight with somebody just to shoot him. Guys, if you couldn't see this coming, maybe it's best that you just don't own a gun. Maybe the combative weapons ban is for the better. Because if you can't see that coming, then what's the point? What's the point of having you there? What's the point of having you being a gun owner? You know, you can't look after each other. You can't talk each other out of shooting people for your beliefs. Um, you can't, and you won't. That's the big thing. You won't talk anybody out of killing people, defenseless people, and mass shootings. You won't talk them out of it. You won't talk them out of it. You won't even stand against the one who tries to say, "Well, I'm a patriot," and all this other garbage. Because that is not a patriotic thing. Shooting defenseless people, shooting into a crowd, it's not patriotic. That has nothing to do with patriotism. It has everything to do with terrorism. You know, so you can't see this weapons ban coming. You can't see it happening throughout all 50 states. You can't see this regulations, even all the way down to a regulation. You can't see that coming, guys. You deserve to lose your guns. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. It's. I don't mean to sound so harsh, but it's the truth. You know. And as far as the first article, where Rittenhouse and Defiance Press and Defiance Press and here we go, where Rittenhouse and Defiance Press and Daniel Miller is concerned, guys, you can't be surprised by this crap. You guys are responsible for a bunch of headaches with your preachings and your abuse of free speech, your hate through the abuse of free speech and your talkings of hate. You're just not welcomed. You're just not cool. You're just not. You're just a waste of life. You're a pain in the ass to society, and you really shouldn't be surprised when people cancel your appearances to these rallies and your rallies are closed. You shouldn't be surprised. You're supporting each other in the name of freedom and free speech, but look at the stuff that you're trying to get accomplished in the name of freedom. Going over to pick a fight to shoot somebody in self-defense once you started the confrontation. That's not a freedom that we want to support, that America wants to support. That's not a freedom that any country wants to support. A racial profiled sheriff who still gets his retirement, his pension, and any kind of awards for services rendered and all this other stuff. That's not the kind of freedom that we want to support. That's not the kind of freedom anybody in this America wants to support. You guys can't be happy. You guys can't be angry because nobody wants you around. Plain and simple. Kyle Rittenhouse, no, go away. Daniel Miller, dude. Texas, the secede thing has been going on for so long. To think that that it's gonna happen is just idiotic. For one, for two, to think that because once Texas declares its own country, you can just kick out all the other races except for the whites. That's also stupid. To think that that's actually going to suffer, because let's just be honest. If Texas was to ban all white people and all this, ban all people other than whites and all that, and as soon as it becomes its own country, okay, it's subjected to attacks by Russia. Just look at Ukraine, okay? Look at Bosnia before that. Look at Croatia before that. Look at Kosovo before that. Our state would be subject to invasions if we separated from the U.S. Plain and simple. It would be subjected, and we would be nothing but a war-torn country instead of a great state, the Lone Star state. We need America. America needs us. Shut up already, Mr. Miller. Go away. Just go away. And stop being mad. Stop being surprised that nobody wants you. Okay? Nobody wants you, dude. Go away. Drop dead. I don't care. But whatever. So that's the long and the short of it. The weapons ban, the banning of so-called freedom of speech rallies that are doing nothing but promoting hate and featured people love hate. Screw them. They deserve what they get. So That's my deal. If you have a comment, go ahead and post it. But just try to stick to the subject. This whole bizwax where you're what's wrong with America today, dude. No, go away. I'm just gonna delete you. But if you have any kind of subject concerning um, the people and why in the world they continue with these rallies and these so-called patriotic movements and all this stuff, throw your input in as to why you think that is, or what you think their goal is or their mission is. As far as I'm concerned, uh, because and I'm sharing this with you because as far as I'm concerned, hate is all that it is that they're trying to do. They're trying to gain popularity. They're trying to gain success. They're trying to gain this and all this other crap, and that's the sole mission. Okay. Uh, Remember, in my eyes, it's all about the money. Belief is the tool, and for these people to spread this kind of belief, you know, they're going to get support, and then they get support. There's going to be donations and charities, so it's going to be some pretty good financial support, you know. And let's just be honest. Once that green hits you, you'd go to a rally, any and every rally, and you try to hold them up. That's what all these politicians are doing when they attend these rallies and stuff. That Conway lady and Bobert and Kirsten Cinema, all these people, they're all going to these rallies in order to just make more money. They're spewing a bunch of hate. The problem is the belief section where people actually believe it's real and people actually believe that there's some kind of movement to be made, and there's and then you get whacked out douchebags, committing hate crimes, and it ranges from somebody picking a fight just to kill them in the name of self-defense all the way to an attack of a government building, And for those of you who say, "Oh, January 6th was staged," well, no, I don't believe that, but I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to the Oklahoma City bombing, people. You got some nutbar that's believing this rhetoric and hate and all this other crap, and he's blowing up a government building. You know, but I will include January 6th because it's the same thing. Those people thought there was a stolen election, and what did they do? They flipped out. They were supposed to protest peacefully and all this other crap. They were supposed to do a rally. Maybe sign a petition, maybe demand something through the courts and all this other crap, the legal manner. But instead, did they do any of that? No. They flipped out. They just plain flipped out. So, again, and that's what the belief part is. The profit is the leaders who are taking their donations and charities and all this good stuff and making money. And that's really what the big picture is. It's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Remember that. I say that almost every single post, and I'm going to say it again because all of this is pretty much what it is. No matter how many ways you cut it, it still comes back down to that rule of thumb. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it, and I'm going to stop right now. I hope all of you are taking care of yourselves, and I hope you all are doing well. Again, I can't handle the repair costs and the payments and all this good stuff. I can't. So I have to get off the road. Also, my health went a little bad. I'm very wrinkly right now, but if you take a look at past posts with me in the car, you'll see I was actually very pudgy at the time. I was like this, and I was feeling it. I was out of shape and feeling it. Back and muscle pains, joint pains, the excessive eating, the no exercise, the constant driving around, which unfortunately led to a lot of high levels of stress. And I can't do it anymore. So I went to this warehouse job, and the blood is circulating. The muscles are being revitalizing. My joints are started out in sheer pain. They're now starting to get less and less achy after a week and a half. I'm going to be starting my third week, and I'm just going to be taking it one step at a time. I'm feeling the revitalization of my insides, my muscles, my joints, and I'm feeling a lot less sick because of this general manual labor that I'm doing in a warehouse. So I'm getting better, and I hope that everybody out there is getting better as well. I hope everybody is taking good care of each other. And my next task is to work for a something to hold this phone still. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm hoping y'all are taking care, and that y'all keep looking after each other. Remember, COVID is not taking too many lives here in the U.S., but it can pretty much still be a surprise pain in the butt. After a long time of not having any symptoms or anything. And don't forget to stay safe out there. Use the buddy system. Speaking of guns being banned, weapons, y'all still need to keep an eye out for any kind of guy with the trench coat. The trench coat that might have a long weapon, long distance firing weapon underneath it. Remember to duck and hide out of sight of whatever gunman is shooting, and try to make room for that one girl that's left behind by her badass boyfriend, big bad boyfriend. That as soon as he hears the gunshots, boom, he's gone, and she's left standing there. He's gone, going, "Oh dang! I hope my girlfriend didn't get shot." That girl. Make sure to make room for her. I'm sure she'd appreciate it. Just remember to be aware of your surroundings. Okay. Stay cool. Take care of each other. We'll all see you around. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.